public schools across the district require critical repairs and technology upgrades. In working with the School Construction Authority, SCA, we have noticed that principals and school communities often have limited visibility into the progress of construction projects within their own buildings. Similarly, Community Educational Council sometimes find it challenging to effectively advocate for neighborhood needs when there isn't a clear way to track capital requests and project timelines. Currently, much of the communication relies on individual email exchanges, which can make it difficult for school leaders and parents to stay consistently informed. Is there an opportunity for your administration, in partnership with the School Construction Authority, to explore a more modern and transparent system that allows schools and CECs to easily track project progress, improve communication, and streamline the capital request process so communities can better support the work being done?
Such a great question, and you know, as a superintendent, when I was a superintendent, this was a huge issue for me, right? One of the things is that, you know, maybe once per year the SCA might come and they might say something. In our case, when the SCA came, you know, I didn't, as a superintendent, feel like their engagement process was meeting the needs of our community, and we launched a huge effort as a result. The superintendent partnered with the CEC, where we submitted a report at a time because we were part of a pilot program where we looked at all of our buildings, and part of the issue is that a lot of our principals even, and a lot of communities don't know the distinction between the Office of School, the Department of Schools Facilities at NYC Public Schools, and what SCA's responsibilities, right? That's one of the main, and then part of it is because, you know, our folks at the Department of School Facilities can actually do a lot to upgrade buildings and so on, and so it's not as clear for principals what's a capital need versus what can be done at the school level. And so that's one of the things that we do need to work on. And secondly, many of our principals, I know when I was a principal, I didn't start thinking about SCA and those things until like my third year, right? Because there's so many things that you get to deal with. So that's another thing, just in terms of making sure our principals are supported in what they can look for, who they can talk to, when they can actually address these things. And finally, I think, you know, when the elected official like gives us, you know, gives the school some kind of, whether it's resume or just sometimes a huge amount of money, you know, by the time we have to make sure that we know that the timeliness of that work happening is important, because, you know, $500,000 today is less 2 years from now. You can't buy the same thing, right? Exactly. And so it's critical to me as chancellor that we continue to I continue to advocate in this seat on behalf of districts and schools with SCA to make sure that we move that more quickly. And that's why I think our Deputy Chancellor of School Operations, Kevin Moran, will talk a little bit more and some more about what are some of the ways we're streamlining processes with SCA.
All right, thank you. Thank you for hosting today. CEC 28, the grade 28, if I plug into President Messeton. So that's an awesome question. It cuts to the heart of the issue. And the core question is, do we have a more modern system to track, monitor, evaluate, and report on our facilities and the state of affairs within our buildings? And so a lot of the work had to happen internally on the New York City Public Schools side. So one of the things we did is we started putting our building information on the website. And so the year it was built, the AHERA management plans for all the asbestos, and then started putting out on the building the attributes of the building. Like I can tell you, there's 68 instructional spaces in this building right now, 66 have functioning AC, the gymnasium and this auditorium do not have AC. But that would help inform some of your CEC requests and saying, look, I want a capital upgrade. To the principals in the room, having spent 28 years in this system, I realized there's a fundamental lack of visibility for you on a project award, a project scope, and a timeline for completion with an estimated date. Therefore, to the chancellor's point, we could track the scope and the completion. That actually, right now, I know there's a Reso-A room job on your webpage right now. So I know that's posted. So we're starting to do that work, but to the finer point of the end-to-end system, that is something we're working on with the SCA now to make sure we can manage all the data, and actually we have an end-to-end system that'll do the very thing that you're asking for. Because the BCAS survey is more of a PDF version, whereas we want, what you're saying, your question is a more modern system. That will happen, and we'll be more transparent for principals to make sure every program you get or capital award you get will be tracked, monitored, and reported on. So great question, and more to come. We'll follow up. Thank you.
Thank you, and I do want to acknowledge Captain Zapata, who is the representative from Donovan's office, and specifically because if he was here, he would tell you, Queens get the money.
All right. Our